What is up? What is up, guys? Y'all ready to finish up this? You ready to finish up this huge source of knowledge and wisdom that we were whittling on last night? Too bad we didn't get to finish that up last night. So we'll hit it again. I don't think we got near as much left as what we covered last night, but you know, like I said last night, it's always good to have a good laugh and for some of the people that might happen upon videos like that in the future that might be tempted to believe some of the shit that was being spewed. This is a good thing, I believe, for people in those situations. So, I know most of these people in the chat they're not paying any attention to these people, but you know what? It's not just about us, is it? It's about everybody. So we gotta get more people over here to the winning team, Um, and just so y'all know, X is literally on fire ever since that article came out about the ATF not being able to the ATF not being able to what was the word they used? It was their testing of the quote unquote bullet fragment was inconclusive. So they're not going to be able to use that to prosecute Tyler with now, obviously. So now the defense is wanting to use it as exculpatory evidence. So yeah, it's internet's on fire right now. There are some pissed off people, and so the next I think I'm going to cover is probably Liz Wheeler. Liz Wheeler, she, oh my God, she's trying to spin it so hard. I ain't had a chance to see how Gary's spinning it. I'm sure he's spinning it too, but oh, it's awful. It is so awful. Anyway, let's get to the task at hand. Let's get on this so we can get it over with. Let's have us a few laughs and then chill for a while.
Engagement, thematically coordinated replies that stand out even in high traffic threads. You can go read the rest of this if you like, but that is the short answer of it. So that's what's happening on X and every other platform. Folks, there's something going on, and I think there's multiple different countries involved. I think there's political entities and organizations involved that are paying for the boosting of what she's saying and what she's doing. What else on this before we trek over?
Kind of like the multiple agencies and organizations that are paying for him and what he's saying.
Wow.
Ain't that the pot calling the kettle black?
Before we trek over to Baron Coleman's flop show.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could give you guys my theory really quick, which I'll
Oh yes, please do.
be clear is just my theory. So you know how she recently just randomly attacked Nick Shirley, like out of left field? Totally random, right? Well, but here's the thing, it's not random. Not when you actually, again, start to put the pieces together, right? So what did Nick Shirley recently uncover?
Fraud.
A whole lot of fraud, right? That was happening in Minnesota, primarily dealing with refugees from the Middle East that happened to be involved in the Islamic religion specifically, and how they are literally taking U.S. taxpayers for a ride. Yeah, I don't think that Candace has been linked to a lot of these foreign monies, like, foreign money that's coming in from all of these other countries. And a lot of them are connected to, Qatar, Muslim Brotherhood, like a lot of these Islamic organizations that are pushing this stuff in the West. And then she just so happens to strategically go after the one reporter who was like uncovering all of this fraud from these refugees who come from these places specifically.
I wouldn't necessarily call it going after him. When you got this, however old what is he, 23 years old? I mean, a freaking kid claims to go to, where was he? Brazil, Chile, somewhere, one of those Latino countries. But he claimed to go there and in 2 days infiltrate their most dangerous their most dangerous and deadly gang there. Like, come on. Nobody believes that shit. And that's all she said. That is literally all she said was that, yeah, right. Come on. Just don't lie. So, yeah, definitely wouldn't consider that going after somebody. What these people are doing now, they're going after Candace and Barron and all that. Now, that's going after somebody.
I don't think that that's a coincidence. Just saying. And then literally 2 days later, we have Nick Shirley and Benny.
Well, Brett, I mean, they need to hurry up and get that Russian paycheck coming to me if I'm a Russian hop. I'm tired of working for free.
Johnson sitting down with JD Vance to actually go over like what their investigation has uncovered, and that Ilhan Omar herself was involved in it, and they know that she was involved in it, that Tim Walz, the governor, covered it up, and they know that he did. And yeah, again, I don't think that that's a coincidence, but putting all of that together.
The fuck does that have to do with Candace Owens and Baron Coleman?
Together in my head of what I've put together the last couple of months. Again, my theory, this is my personal opinion. I want to put that out there. I think that the long game, we're not talking about chess here or checkers here. We're talking about chess, right? I think eventually the plan.
She seems like she'd just be an awesome chess player.
With Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Carrie Prejean, Joe Kent, all of these names that are coming out in support of all this garbage. I think they're going to launch their own political party. They have been very strategic.
What the fuck did that have to do with the Somalians and all this money they're shipping over to Somalia? What?
And separating themselves from Donald Trump and MAGA and the GOP, and literally trying to make this separation. And it's all around the Jew hatred. At the end of the day, it's anti-Israel. And they're saying, oh, hey, you hate the Jews, but you don't want to be a liberal because they're the ones that primarily hate the Jews right now. Well, look over here. We're going to give you the conservative Christian option where you can still be a conservative. You can still have your Christian values, but you can hate the Jews. And here it is. Here's the party. Here's our candidates.
How dishonest is this woman? Like, my God. Nobody hates the Jews. There is such a huge difference between hating the Jews and not being a big fan of the current secular Israeli government run by Benjamin Netanyahu, or whoever's replaced him since he's supposedly, allegedly no longer with us.
Our people, and trying to get one of them put into office. I think that
What's up, Miss Susan? What's up? What's up?
Is the long game. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take them to get to that point, but I think that they're going to try to present a conservative option for the.
Oh God, Miss Susan, it's got to be painful listening to Lisa Don't Know at 1.5 speed. God.
Jew hatred.
No, I've said the exact same thing. I think it's going to be slightly different, but I think what they want is they definitely want the Republicans to lose the midterms. And what that leaves them with is.
So let's not look into all the discrepancies with the Charlie Kirk investigation. Let's not worry about getting Charlie some real justice. Let's just focus on the patsy. Let's get him convicted and shoved away so we can forget about this guy and move on to the midterms. That is what matters, the midterms. Obviously, I don't want a bunch of Democrats or crazy liberals in office. That's just my, politics. I don't know about anybody else. Everybody's entitled to their own. But if I have to choose, and I don't see why I would, but if I have to choose between in a nutshell, justice for Charlie or the midterms, kind of no brainer to me. The midterms, all these people, that is all people are concerned about is the midterms.
2 years of Donald Trump having a lame duck presidency. And the entire time you're going to have the liberals, you're going to have.
Hey, lead me to the bliss. I don't know if I've seen you in here. Good to see you. Good to see you. Got to come hang out more. This is a pretty cool chat. Not quite as full as it usually is because we're a little later than we are a lot of times. But anyway, good to see you in there. And yeah, if you're not subscribed, make sure you do that. That way you can always come hang out with us. And Mary Jane, was you commenting on a video earlier today? That name sounds kind of familiar. But good to see you in there too. Shoot ya. The more the merrier. I like seeing people in the chat. And like I said, anybody in there, if you're not subscribed, please do that so you can come hang out with us. And awesome, man, awesome. Yeah, put your blinders on and vote. That's it. All right. Anyway, I'll get back to this genius conversation going
Have this
on here.
woke right talking about, Trump being a completely feckless, ineffective president. And, basically MAGA has destroyed the conservative right. I think the new woke right, number one, they're going to be running against MAGA. Right. At the same time, they're going to be opposition party, direct opposition to Democrats as well. I think they want to hijack the conservative movement in the same way that MAGA took over the Republican Party. The woke right wants to take over the Republican Party, and they don't care what happens in 2028. They just want Donald Trump to fail. They don't want MAGA to continue in 2028. They want the Democrats to win in 2028. So they
no, that's not what I want at all. Not at all.
Can be the opposition party, which is always more effective. That's what they're going to do so that they can win ultimately in 2032. That's the play. And by then, I think they think that they can completely take over the conservative movement, the Republican Party, whatever you want to call it, in the same way that MAGA did. But they're not going to. There's not as much support. The good news, folks, is that there's not nearly as much support for them as that we even perceive here on social media.
These guys are idiots. This is not some woke right, for one. For two, this new growing movement or this big shift that's going on, this true America First, call it America Only if you want, America First and America Only. A lot of people call it different things. I think they are severely misunderestimating that, and I feel like probably starting with the midterms, but if not, for sure by 2028. I got a feeling you're going to be practically unelectable if you're taking any AIPAC money, or if you go out on the stage in front of God and everybody and talk about how your number one priority is to protect Israel, and number two, the people of the United States. That's just not going to be a winning message anymore. I hate it, but that's just the way it is.
It's not even close.
Don't know how it ever worked, but them days are over.
We have like 98% of Trump voters still highly favorable of Trump. It's that 2% that seems like a lot, boosted by bots on top of it, that seems
dipshits taking the midterms. That's right.
Seems like they're the majority when they are such a small minority.
Oh yeah, such a small minority. Ooh. I don't guess this guy's been watching the polls much.
That it's not even funny.
Yeah, I mean, so Zach Costello himself, like on his channel, I think it was last week, he actually announced that him and a friend of his have been working behind the scenes to launch their own nonprofit, and apparently they're saying that they got all their permitting and licensing and everything that they need to like make it official. But essentially, it's going to be their version of TPUSA, but for all of these, the anti-Zionist right conservative side of everything. And so I don't know,
or maybe it's more just like for people that really want to benefit America, America only again. Maybe
I'm wondering if they're kind of going to put their feelers out with that type of thing first and then kind of go from there. But I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, it'll be the Christian anti-Semitic party. You might as well just call them Nazis. I mean, I really don't know the difference, to be honest with you. I mean, the ideology.
Are these people that dumb that they really think it has anything to do with being a Semite? Do they really believe that? Like these people are so dense. Like they always gonna go back to the Jews. No, we are tired of putting another foreign state, Israel in this case, before our own good. We're tired of fighting their wars. We're tired of funding their wars. We're tired of all of it. has absolutely nothing to do with hating the Jews. Nothing. There's a lot of Jews here in America that feel exactly the same. Just like there's a lot of legitimate 100% legal immigrants that are Hispanic that can't stand the illegals that are coming over. Like it doesn't have anything to do with your nationality. It doesn't. It really doesn't.
The thoughts, everything they say is exact same as it's Nazi ideology is really what it is.
Literally.
Yeah. If there wasn't provable evidence, Robinson wouldn't be sitting in jail. Exactly. I think Candace had this whole psyop plan from day one of Charlie's murder. I don't know if it was day one, but it didn't take long. And then I think she started going, look, I think Candace started this just doing what Candace does on her own thing. And then I think there's a lot of different forces, including foreign adversaries, that saw an opportunity and started pushing and amplifying her signal. And they've just continued to add on to this. I
think the whole Israel did it thing was the plan from the very beginning, to try to blame it on them, because she's been on that trope for a long time. But then the rest
Gary got it all figured out.
Of it has definitely morphed over time, for sure.
Well, it's just such a
yes, Miss Susan, she sure was. She sure was.
Weird coincidence that somehow who killed Charlie Kirk was the French.
A conspiracy theory
that she had been raving against for the last year. Israel that she had been raving against for the last year. And she never liked the U.S. military. She's always been suspicious. She always casts aspersions with anybody that is in the U.S. military, except for Joe Kent. Joe Kent, he's a saint. Don't worry about that little guy.
Yeah, funny how that works.
If you notice, she says something one day, and then magically the next day an anonymous source shows up with the same thing, but they're real sources. Yeah. It's very convenient. It's very convenient that all these anonymous sources always jump in here and confirm exactly what she proposed to begin with. I'm doing this live. I was the first at hand source for the 5-man team that walked up to the extortion crash site.
All right, let's get on with it, Sam.
Present it to you so you can take it part of the information set and make your own decision. I don't have any problem of that at all. Are you twins? No, we're not twins. We're not related. Apparently, we're just wearing the same color shirt. All right. Anything else before we jump over to Baron?
Nope. Let's get this over with.
You know what they say, blank minds think alike.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Bring on the stupidity.
Can you believe, I mean, like, how it takes some serious balls for somebody like her to talk about bringing on the stupidity when we're talking about bringing on Baron. Am I saying he's the, smartest person in the whole wide world? No. But, like, for her to think that she even, like she compares in any way to him, intelligence-wise, and much less to think that she's smarter than him, is so laughable. It's fucking ridiculous.
The only thing worse than Fed slop by far is the Candace Owens and Baron Coleman slop.
Again, all you gotta do is show a little proof, show a little receipt. A little receipt goes a long way.
Is bad.
But they can't do it.
I love the fact there are definitely people pushing back.
What's up, mermaid? What's up? What's up?
I don't know whether to put it on today or not, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. We got a lot to talk about. We might have to go full bad cop at some point today because we've got a debunking to do. We've got a debunking to do. Shame on you guys. Shame on you guys. Shame on you guys over there.
Shame.
Absolutely despicable attempt at trying to establish an alibi. We've had to do this.
When relatives breed.
Before. We've had to do this before, ladies and gentlemen. We've had to get out the bad cop hat and take apart alibis. I'm not afraid to do it again. I'm not opposed. But for now, we'll stay okay cop, not good cop, not bad cop, but we'll stay okay cop. We'll stay okay cop for now. And then we'll get into the nitty gritty and decide if we have to go absolutely bonkers or not.
I'll be right back. I got to fix this light. Y'all enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen. So I got a couple things I want to bring out of the way before we get to the opening statement. The opening statement today is fun. Here's a couple that did not watch all 11. I want to advise people, and I've had people encourage me, you need to debate this person. You need to debate that person.
Oh, here we
go.
go.
Have to establish a ground rule. And if you're going to debate a trial, I suggest the burden of proof that goes with trials. I don't have to prove anything. I don't have to prove Tyler Robinson didn't take a shot. I don't have to prove anything. You have to prove he did. You have to prove he did and prove it beyond a reasonable doubt in order to win the debate and thus the trial. And I would suggest to you that there's just not the evidence from which to have a seasoned debate, a reasonable debate right now. Here's why.
This is so disingenuous. Again, he also understands how evidence works and how the evidence has to be valid and validated in the process that it goes through. So his entire last 6 months of saying that this evidence isn't real, this evidence is garbage, he's such a freaking liar, and he's so disingenuous, and he's doing it for money. He is doing it for money. Now, I bet we probably already has 100,000. I'm like, Barry Coleman is challenging Candace Owens for views right now. I mean, it's getting darn close.
Why? The only thing we have is the charging document. That's it. That's the only evidence they're going to be able to present is the charging document.
Well, it's not the only. Again, he's lying to you folks.
No, he's not. And ain't that just great listening to Gary brag about Barron's numbers?
It is not the only evidence. We had Andrea Burkhart come on here and explain this multiple times. Folks, the evidence is continuing to pile up. Since the charging documents were released on September, I believe it was 16th.
Gary, I hate to have to explain this to you, buddy, but when a crime like this is committed, see, they arrest a guy, and then they have what is called an investigation. And then after that investigation, then they come up with these things called charges, and the charges is what they're claiming that the guy they arrested did. Well, once they come up with those charges, they make this thing called a charging document, and that charging document goes over all the evidence that was found during the investigation, and then we wait on a trial to go over said well, whatever y'all are supposed to have evidence wise. But yeah, so why does he keep saying that this evidence is just piling up in the meantime? It's just piling up. It just magically just keeps growing. You know, the trial is already started, you know, somewhat. There's no investigation. The evidence is not piling up. I don't know why he keeps saying this. It's retarded. Yeah, I hard-art him again.
They have continued to add evidence every single day. I'm sure that's slowed down a lot.
Every single day.
But
just because you say it every single day doesn't mean that it's happening every single day.
For the month after that, we had Utah, with the assistance of FBI, providing more evidence, talking to more witnesses, collecting more forensics. All the forensics that they collected at the time at UVU during the 3 days that they had that, 98% of that was not even.
Amen, Miss Susan. Amen.
Kind of, processed to the point to where they could actually add it to the evidence pool. It wasn't. Okay. And again, if it was only the charging documents, as he's getting ready to assert, remember when the defense at the first hearing,
and this guy don't know the difference between charging documents and evidence. He acts like the charging document is the evidence. Look, here it is. I'm showing you the evidence. No, motherfucker, you're not showing me the evidence. You're showing me a piece of paper that describes some evidence that may or may not, hopefully, is there. But there's a charging documents are a far cry, and he keeps saying, "Oh, they're in the charging documents, so it has to be there because it's going to go to court. It's going to come out. We are going to see this stuff, this and that big mountain of evidence that's been collecting ever since." Not if he either pleads out or gets Epstein in the meantime, which is what I am really expecting to happen just any day now. I hope like hell neither one of those happens. I want to see the trial. But he acts like this trial is a foregone conclusion. I mean, like it's going to happen regardless, and that is not the case.
I think it was in November. They said they needed another 2 months so that they could go through the voluminous amount of evidence that has been presented, because the only thing that's in here are the text messages. The only thing that's in here is some of the surveillance footage. The only thing that's in here is the DNA.
The DNA is actually in that document
on the gun.
There's a gun in there too.
The statements from the parents where he does indeed give a confession, and I will clarify.
He gives a confession.
Clarify that for you if you'd like.
Sure.
So there was very little evidence, but it was more than enough in the charging documents.
He says there's very little evidence, but it's more than enough in the charging documents
to present to the judge and get him to agree that there is probable cause to continue.
Hey, Nosy, what's up? What's up? Good to see you in there.
Continue to move this investigation.
They're gonna have to do a wellness check on Raining. I hadn't seen her unless she's decided she's mad at me now. I don't know. I've been missing her in the chat now for a while. Need to figure out where she's at.
Forward. So what he's telling you is just demonstrably a lie.
Has anybody seen her in any other chats?
Already.
It's in a few comments made by law enforcement officials, like Cash Patel made a comment about the palm gun and this and that, palm print, on the gun. But what they don't have is this mountain, this overwhelming evidence. There's all this stuff they think they have.
He's lying. So what makes Gary so sure? I mean, he's assuming. Do we know what assumptions are? For one, assumption's the mother of all fuck ups is one of my favorite sayings. I got another one I'll tell you here in just a minute, maybe.
And so what are we debating? Like, I'm still trying to figure out who was where, when, how, all these types of things in order to.
What's up, Angela? Having breakfast. Yeah, the $7,000 club.
What he's continuing to do is continue to come up with ideas of how he can just.
Thank y'all. I'm glad everybody's showing up. It tickles the shit out of me to see everybody in the chat like that. Now's as good a time as any. If you have not subscribed, please do. Please like the video. Y'all have been doing really good on the likes. I really appreciate it. My ratio of likes to views and all that has been really good. So I really appreciate that. And of course, share. And once again, and I think maybe I said it before, maybe I didn't. In the description of this video, and actually several other videos back. Anyway, in the description of this video, obviously, there's a description of the video, and then there are my 3 links for my my PayPal, my Venmo, and my Cash App. If anybody feels so inclined, you can help support me there until I can get monetized. So just want to throw that out there. I appreciate every little bit of support I get, whether it's that kind of support or being here, the likes, the shares, and just hanging out in the chat. So we'll go back to it.
Without being challenged too much, the gaps in information that he can fill with bullshit. That's what he's doing. That's what.
I'll do that, Miss Susan. I'll do that.
What he's doing. But anyways, you got anything to add to that, Lisa?
What a dumb broad is all I can say.
No, I think this is just a cop out. He He doesn't want, he knows that Andrew Wilson is a very heavy debater and he is going to do everything he can to tuck tail and run. But he's got to dress it up all fancy, right?
But
and
until
like,
we start seeing,
Yes.
give it a good like show to his audience on why he can't just say no. He's got to make it look all, well, we have to have a strategic topic to.
I can promise you, Baron Coleman is not worried about debating Andrew Wilson. Just saying.
Discuss. You can absolutely work that out. What are you talking about? Like, he's just
clearly there's things that Baron Coleman believes and has asserted on his show time and time again. And that's the only thing that we need to debate. Like, why are you stating this as fact? Because there's things that you've asserted that you've stated as fact that Andrew Wilson is going to come through and just obliterate and show the fact that, number one, you're a con artist.
Mary Janer. I'm not going to comment on that, but that is a very good comment. That is interesting.
You're lying to your people. You do not believe the things that you're saying. That's what he's going to do. And he's afraid. He's afraid of doing it.
I don't think he's going to succeed, Miss Susan, if he is trying to bait Barron. I think Barron's too smart for that.
At least, for what it's worth, at least Zach Costello will come on and do that. All right. Nobody else on their side will.
Bullshit. I sent you an email today, Gary. Sent you an email of topics I want to discuss. So don't say nobody else will. I plan on you getting me on there, like you said, here very soon.
I've extended this offer to many,
and I can't wait.
People. I put it up on Twitter. Hey, anybody that wants to come on my show that believes you're bullshit, you're welcome to come on my show and we'll talk about it. I know that you have extended that same offer to people as well, Lisa.
I'm literally going on a podcast on Monday. I'm going on a Candy Cult member.
A Candy Cult member. Dee Dee. Hey, has anybody or everybody in this chat seen the Dee Dee got a podcast and Lisa that was on today? Anybody that saw it, give me a thumbs up in there. I don't know if that's something I need to show that, cover that or not. If everybody saw it, then maybe I won't, but it was pretty good, pretty telling. I learned a lot about Lisa Don't Know.
Podcast live on Monday, and we're going to debate. So yeah, absolutely.
That was not a debate, by the way. Not a debate at all.
Some semblance of
no contest
evidence. All we have is an affidavit and a charging document. I'll be happy to debate people on that. I'll be happy to. I'll go through you.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily agree with all of DD's, views on things. Some of the conclusions he's came to. Honestly, at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. We're all trying to get to the truth. But regardless, he, if nothing else, which I agree to everything that he brought forward in the conversation they had. I don't think there was anything I didn't agree with. But at the end of the day, regardless, if nothing else, he showed how immature and childish and intellectually deficient she is, because she came on there to call names and say, show me the proof. And that was it. And you could show her the proof, but unless it was some kind of certified, stamped official government document, she doesn't consider it proof. So it was, it was pointless other than to show to the world just how childish she is.
Go through the charging document. You read what it says. You tell me you're in times. That way.
All right. I want to get to where he's talking about the itinerary before the audition.
I was like, okay. So I went up there and he said,
hey, I don't know if y'all noticed, but I got the gap. The thumbnail from last night had a gap, but it was even better tonight. Unless that last version I did got somehow or another got out of there, but I'm pretty sure I had the gap just right.
What are you doing? Because I told him it was my first trial. Introduce.
Nobody cares.
Oh yeah, give it to her. She won't. She'll never know. Her her and Gary's super intelligent minds both together, you know, both of them, I mean, both of them are better than AI, to be honest with you, if you want to know the truth. And both of them together, they went over and over and over that document, and I mean, it was legit. They said it was legit. So, you know,
Baron,
who
700 Club.
killed Charlie Cooper and what does?
well,
I think they're doing a lot of really good work. I'm talking about the different ideas for how I for them. Let me get into the opening statement. This opening statement's good. This is an American history. And I want to detail it specifically, though. I actually had specific me here of most. Ted Bundy was.
Are y'all familiar with Bronson? Oh my God. Talk about an insufferable prick that thinks he is better than everybody. I hate to talk about people, but my God, there's no sense in being that way. They're fixing to bring him on, so it's fixing to turn into the Three Stooges, and I mean, God. So anyway,
a charismatic
yeah, that's right. That's right, Mary Jane. They were like, no, it's going to pull data from the current to Google Map and blah, 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 blah. No, dumbass. That means that that document was created in 2026. If that flight took place in 2025, that document would have been created back in 2025 and been sitting in somebody's computer in PDF form, and they would have just printed it off. There would be no reason to completely you would not have to recreate or create that document. When Andrew flew on this flight in 2025, if indeed he did, he would have gotten a copy of that very itinerary, if that itinerary was legit. So yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous to argue that. And it was hilarious to hear Gary stuttering and carrying on, try to, 2026. What are you talking about?
Self-theatrical for Ben. He also went much further. He mocked the charges.
All right, folks. Again, this is narrative framing. I want you to see what he's doing, and Candace does this every single time. He's going to go to an unrelated case, and he's going to bring up all.
What are you talking about on X, Brett?
All this stuff, and basically, hey, these things were.
Am I wrong though, Brett? Am I missing something? I mean, he seems like such an ass.
True, so therefore, this has to be true. He's getting.
And I'm sorry, I have long felt like anybody that sits in a dark room doing a podcast or what have you, wearing sunglasses, is just shady as shit. I don't know why. That's just my personal opinion. No offense to anybody if they like to sit in dark rooms with sunglasses on.
Nodding, saying, "Yep, yep. Look, this is psychological operation, information operations 101. This is what they do. This isn't sophisticated. It's not that hard to see through. It's basic shit. And if you are taken in by this nonsense,
it is basic shit.
Then you are a gullible moron."
Explain why, Gary. Explain why. Show proof of what you just said. Don't just say we're dumb for believing it. Prove it wrong. Prove it wrong. Show me the money. Show me the money.
Period. You may not like that.
Put your money where your mouth is.
But that's true.
He turned them into punchlines.
Hey, Gary said it, so it's true. It's true.
There you go.
They declared it
how long do we
rather than resignation in the 90s. Accused of this was confident. Nor at Glenwood Springs, Colorado. He was found across the country in Florida. As him with the Kimberly, the sheriff, the press, loudest and as his own lawyer, he crossed.
Again, we got hours of storytelling of what I'm assuming he's telling you of cases that proven to be false. Cases that, look, I can go through and I can do a podcast 10 days of all the people that have been put on death row and potentially even executed, which later on we found out there was evidence. Does that happen? Absolutely true. Absolutely it does. There's no doubt about it. It's why there's a big part of me now that I'm kind of against the death penalty unless certain circumstances are met, because there have been too many people put to death under false pretenses. We'll say,
like proven beyond a reasonable doubt, maybe?
that. That does not mean that everybody on death row is not guilty.
Did anybody say that?
Matter of fact, 99% of them are guilty. And then the other thing,
I agree with that. Barron probably agrees with that. Everybody in the chat probably agrees with that. So what's your point?
well, I want your take on this, Lisa, because I was thinking about this with Zach, because this is another one of the false narratives.
What's your take on that there, Lisa? Laid up in the bed, propped up with pillows behind you, fitting to be eating some French fries here in a minute.
He goes back and he says, well, this is almost guaranteed to not be true because we've had the government lie to us about COVID, about the elections, about this, about that. Like, first of all, the last time I checked, that was the Biden administration.
That is the dumbest statement I have ever heard. Gary, you should know better. You should be ashamed of yourself. Was it Trump? Like personally, specifically? No. All of that shit came about in the Trump administration. Dr. Fauci, his little rise to power, Trump administration. All of those bad actors. All of that was in the Trump administration. The only thing that carried over to the Biden administration was that shot. Everything else was all Trump administration. I'm sorry, I should rephrase that. Like I said, I mean, he's no scientist, he's no doctor. So, I mean, like, you know, to a degree, he has to depend on people around him. Did he depend on good people around him? I don't think so. Regardless, you cannot just say, oh, that was the Biden administration, not the Trump administration. Now the Trump administration's in there. We can trust them. Everything. Trust everybody.
Did you vote for Donald Trump? I'm sure he did.
Did you vote for the other 2 million federal employees that come along with him?
I hope he did. I don't know. But we have a new government in here.
Oh, a new government. Everything changes. All the FBI corruption just magically goes away.
Just because that's...
Remember the whole fight at the beginning of the administration, or, you know, not far in, over Pam Bondi saying, I did all the Epstein files and I got them and found out it wasn't all of them. They were hiding them.
True doesn't make anything that we're proposing here true. If what he's saying had logical merit, then we just need to empty all of our prisons of anybody that's convicted, because the government lies. The government lies. Chances are all of those are lies. Let's just empty the prisons, because
Gary. His point is not we need to let everybody on death row go because the government lied to us before, which means everything they tell in the future is going to be a lie. No, the point is, yes, they have lied to us, and they've lied to us many times. And especially, it seems, when it comes to political assassinations. And so the point is, Gary, you got to always keep that in the back of your mind. And then when something like this happens, if the story doesn't make sense, instead of just ignoring it, look a little closer. You know? Don't just trust them because Donald Trump's in office. Not saying that everything automatically, you know, from here to evermore is going to be wrong. What he is saying, though, is you need to pay attention. You need to be careful. Trust but verify. Ain't that way it goes? And that, again, if something seems screwy, judging by past experiences, it probably is.
Government lies sometimes, Lisa.
Yeah, I mean, I am also against the death penalty, but not for the reasons that a lot of people think. I'm against it for the fact that, a lot of times I am skeptical of our government, and I don't trust them, right?
Be careful with them big words, Lisa.
I think that our government should ever have a vested interest in ending the lives of their own citizens. It doesn't ever bode for us, the people. So at the end of the day, I would always advocate for a life sentence over that of a death sentence. Also, I believe that statistics show that the death penalty just is not effective. It's pretty useless. It doesn't reduce recidivism rates. It doesn't reduce violent crime. It costs us more as taxpayers than due
Thanks, Miss Susan.
to the number of appeals that they get.
I get on my soapbox every now and then.
And all of that. When you're trying to take someone's right to life, you have to give them a chance to like show over and over again that that's not the case, right? So there's multiple reasons why I'm against it, not outside of just like I don't want to.
Nobody asked, by the way.
Like kill people, but all that to say, even if Tyler Robinson gets a life sentence, yeah, I mean, just because there are some individuals who have been found to be innocent on death row, like you said, that doesn't mean that we should just let everybody out of death row.
I guess somebody needs to inform Barron, because I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he said needed to happen.
The vast majority of them are absolutely guilty, and when you look at these organizations that actually are supposed to speak on behalf of these people, what is it? Project Innocence, or the Innocence Project, I mean. Yeah, they're shady as hell. And the people that they choose to defend, like Robert Robinson, that dude is disgusting. If you actually look into the case and what he did, it's completely different than the way that they've tried to present it. They do the same thing.
Kind of like this old Charlie Kirk scenario. It's way different than the way y'all try to make it seem.
Candace does. They omit information. They change things around to make it look like these people are innocent. When
kind of like making kind of like creating an airline itinerary out of thin air to make somebody not look as guilty.
They absolutely are not. So yes, I'm against the death penalty, but I'm not okay with a lot of the talking points of the anti-death penalty crowd. We'll just say that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Anna Osley says Barron is a lawyer. He gets paid to lie, and he's definitely not above it. And especially when he's making the money that he's making. We calculated a couple episodes just off super chats, and his view.
Gary's just pissed because he makes way more than he does. Like I said, quit calling a chunk of your audience stupid for listening to other people that they want to listen to, such as Candace Owens, Barron Coleman, and many others. But when you come on every single night and say that part of your audience is stupid because they like some of these other people, you'll have that.
He's probably making somewhere around $60,000 a month. All riding on Candace.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know it.
Rage, Bronson, I was actually, while at the beginning of the show, I actually pulled up Barron's podcast, was getting ready to show that and just getting it prepped. And it just happened to be exactly when he was presenting your super chat. So I paused it right there and I presented that. And by the way, I sent you a link. If you'd like to jump in here with us, we'd love to have you. If you can save us from having to sit through any bit of this, you're welcome to come on and to kind of summarize what some of the things that he was saying. I would much prefer to talk to you than to listen to him.
Come on, Bronson.
So
share some words of wisdom with us.
A guest link, you're welcome to jump on if you can. I can't wait to see the evidence against the armed queers. Hopefully this trial gets to the root of this type of funding, but you know who. Yeah, so there is an article. I need to pull it up. We just pulled it up the other night on a space, actually. Look, they are under investigation.
Woo! Shit getting real in the chat, looks like. Mary Janer, I'm not even going to ask what that means. I've got a pretty good idea.
There could be a link, but there may not be a link with enough evidence to even charge them with anything. And they could have been talking for a long time, offline, whatever else, training together. There is evidence that they were aware, that Tyler Robinson was aware, and he could have been talking to these people. There's no doubt about it. If they were at all careful. And here's the thing, just because he was indoctrinated by their ideology It doesn't mean that they directed him to do something. I want people to get their mind right. And that's probably why we're not going to see charges. This could have been one of those things.
But this was all the trannies. This was all the trannies. I mean, it's their fault. And then now all of a sudden he's like, yeah, well, this is why we're probably not going to see any charges to any trannies.
Where, again, he's being indoctrinated by these people. And I do think there's an element that he was trying to be a hero and impress.
There's a difference between indoctrinating somebody and actually, what's the word? But instead of just indoctrinating them to literally push them to the point of being a crazy killer, which I do not think Tyler Robinson is. I could very well be wrong. And as I've said many times, I don't necessarily think he's innocent of everything. I just am really confident that he's not guilty of what they are charging him with.
The LGBTQ freaking trans crowd. I think
which is why he was bragging about it all over the place after the fact.
Yeah, he got the BB bucks for sure. Obviously, I've got lots of clips of him clipped out. So he better be ready to hear himself whenever I go on his show, because I'm fixing to share those clips as we go. Especially the ones about the 30-06.
Yeah.
Him and Valhalla together. All of a sudden, he made a 180. He flipped big time.
He wanted accolades from everybody to see that he was this courageous warrior of the Antifa and trans Tifa. Not just the charging documents to present it, because I'm waiting for the
Okay, we're gonna push this thing forward again.
report
Jesus.
of all the evidence. I am too. I'm waiting for that as well.
Yeah, he's waiting on.
Well,
that
and we've got
mountain
this
of
hearing
evidence.
that's coming up in May. It's the what is it? I don't remember what it's called.
Sounds like it may possibly not be coming up in May after today. Oh, hey, I'm a poet and didn't know it. I made a rhyme that time.
But it's the type of hearing where they're going to
hearing.
like evidentiary. They're gonna.
That's a big old word there, Lisa.
Travesty against him was built on innuendo, gossip, and accusations.
Oh, it's just
His voice was steady.
same thing you're building the case against Erica on. Oh, look, here we go. Let's play what
Just find my face, and then can we just start referring to him as the Mad Hatter, please?
Nobody wants to see your face, I promise you.
Done a good job here on this show as well. But I don't think anybody, honestly, has done as good
Here we go.
as me.
as a guy named Gary from Paramount Tactical. I'm going to show you.
He's the number one cheerleader. Gary Melton is the number one Charlie Kirk alternative theory cheerleader.
No.
Just a little bit of the
Awesome journalism there, Gary.
hard work Gary has done. Have done it. I'm going to go back in time. This is an excellent piece of reporting Gary did here. He basically tricked Gary's son into confirming. He tricked Mitch Snow's son into confirming that Mitch Snow was at Fort Huachuca. That was not.
Let me tell you guys why the many reasons this is a lie. Number
What's up, Dan Lapp?
one, I spoke to Mitch
Good to see you in there.
Snow's son 2 times on the phone. We talked about this phone call that he received from Fort Huachuca both times. Now, what Baron Coleman is going to assert here is that I said that Mitch Snow was never at Fort Huachuca, and we'll let him play this out, and then we'll show.
All right, we're going to skip forward to some Bronson. I want to hear that jackass before we go.
Definitive proof that he's lying once again.
That was pretty good, the look on Gary's face and him blinking like 30 times in 2 seconds.
Whether he was even
maybe
there.
We'll watch that.
No, there wasn't.
But they couldn't get it past Gary. They tried. They tried to get it past Gary. They tried to lie. They tried to feed him bad information. Gary's like a top tier investigative reporter. I'll show you what I mean. When your own child is trashing you, you must be a bad guy. You can't, nothing you say can be believed. Surely no one will believe you're at Fort Huachuca. After that, well, let's see how that went. I will suggest it did not go as planned.
Security clearance.
Or if he does walk into the Joint Task Force staff duty, he might end up detained and outside getting the canines called on him as per this report, which, again, I don't even know if this report is real or not.
Oh, Gary doesn't know if the report's real or not.
In fact, I remember him and others saying that he doubted that it was real, that they didn't think that it was real, that, yeah.
Hey, Mitch Snow's son, that's probably your indication to play into that. Lean into that, Mitch Snow's son. Let's go with we don't know if the report's real. What say you, Mitch Snow's son?
There's so much craziness going on with this report.
I mean,
plate number.
They called me on September 9th.
Hold on. They called him. The Fort Huachuca called the guy.
Whoops.
Fort Huachuca called Mitch Snow's son on September 9th.
Whoops.
I'm so
It
glad.
gets worse. I want you to count the number of times Gary blinks.
Oh, because I was blinking.
Watch the fight or flight response kick in. All that military training out the window.
Out the
moment
window.
the kid outs you. All that military training just goes
Great.
away. All the ability to withstand the pressure. All the ability to be cool under pressure, cool under fire. Watch how many times he blinks.
Asking me if I knew anything about a Mitch Snow and telling me that I was listed as his
Oh
number
my
one,
God! Look at me losing my cool.
emergency contact.
Look at
and I
me.
just remember sitting there for
Oh my
like,
God.
a minute, like, I don't know Mitch Snow. I don't know why I'd be on somebody's emergency contact.
Did you see the big breath?
Getting ready to interrupt him. This is so ridiculous. Hold on. I'm gonna let him keep going here.
I think he sucked in like 9 gallons of air. He blinked 10 times in under 5 seconds and then sucked in at
9
least 15 gallons of air all at once. Oh, no. It can't have gotten worse, Gary.
Oh yeah, here we go.
As you see, he did yeoman's work. Gary played a brilliant game here, a brilliant game, because Gary took to the airwaves under the idea he was luring in Mitch Snow's son, acting as if he was a friendly.
All right. So again, what we have here is a complete mischaracterization. He is lying through his teeth, folks. I'm gonna
Oh no, I seen the blinks. I heard the
pull up a video for you real quick. And matter of fact, I'm just gonna present it up here, so I don't have to find it on my.
All right, let's go. Now that we've heard that. All right, where is the jackass? I don't care anything about watching all that. Well, where's he at?
Lisa, it should only take a matter
Oh,
of
there he
minutes,
is.
but he
Not going to get that. And let me say, database was down today. Wouldn't you know?
Oh yeah.
Well-
I went past it.
Agent investigative broad.
Yeah, I blew past him. Sorry, guys.
Say about it.
And to
Anything
say
else?
that he can sue me, and to say he can sue me based off of that, I would say, like, go ahead, bring it on.
Guys, I went way too far. Oop, there we go.
I'm gonna let him keep going here.
I think he
We're
sucked
back
in like
where-
9
I guess
gallons
he
of
was
air.
just about to come in.
He blinked 10 times in under 5 seconds and then sucked in at least 15 gallons of air all at once. Oh, no. It can't have gotten worse, Gary.
Oh yeah, here we go.
As you see, he did yeoman's work. Gary played a brilliant game here, a brilliant game, because Gary took to the airwaves under the idea he was luring in Mitch Snow's son, acting as if he was a friendly.
All right. So again, what we have here is a complete mischaracterization. He is lying through his teeth, folks. I'm going to pull up a video for you real quick. And matter of fact, I'm just going to present it up here. So I don't have to.
Yeah, that's pretty much what she told him. Bring it on.
Find it on my computer. So I've played this multiple times on. That's downloading on the computer here, but I want to show this to you, and we're going to demonstrate fully that he's lying. Now I have a folder here where it's under while that's downloading. That's not it. I had no idea he was going to bring this up, or I would have happily had this ready. Go ahead and comment on that if you will, Lisa. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I'm just interested to actually see what the full context is, because I know that he obliterated it, because that's what they do. So I haven't seen that full interview. I haven't watched it, so I'm interested to see how he cut and sliced it.
Hold on, I'll wait for that video to download. Where was?
She's lying through her gap. That's good stuff.
Oh, there we go. All right, hold on. I found it. And I will share this with you guys. Now, he just sat there and said that I denied that Mitch Snow was ever on the base. That's his accusation there. Let me remove that. Let me add this to the stage. Oh, Bronson's in the chat. Let's bring him in. Bronson, welcome to the chat, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Good. Doing great, actually. This is fun.
It is fun. So did you watch his entire show?
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, good for you.
I
Good for you.
know. I know. Good for me. It was so
So
wonderful.
while I'm pulling this up, where is this stupid folder?
Did you guys get to the part where he calls Lisa a broad yet? That was pretty fun.
No.
Oh, there's a lot of goodies in here. You
We're
guys really
just
should watch it.
to Mitch Snow, and when Gary was talking to his son and how he cut and sliced that.
Oh
whole-
yeah. He completely spins that. So he's selling the point that Gary somehow was trying to show that Mitch Snow was never at Fort Hakatua.
Mhm.
All right.
It's dumbass. Fort Wakatua.
But
Well,
he never
let's-
shows it's a clip.
I
Gary
obviously
saying that
can't
Mitch Snow wasn't.
confirm that you saw who you say you saw.
Yeah. So, anyways, so he just said that I stated that Mitch Snow was never at Fort Huachuca.
God.
And understand what he is. When I talked to Mitch Snow's son was either, I don't know, after January 1st or somewhere around the 25th or 26th, somewhere around there. But
If you had to put it at a percentage.
all right, folks, again, this is a very common tactic with this information. What they do is they confirm, they show you proof, or say they even confirm the non-material elements of the story. All right, I can confirm you were there. Who cares? Who cares if you can confirm this guy was there, or you can confirm that he stayed at a freaking Best Western somewhere near Fort Huachuca? None of that matters. What matters is you confirm what he's saying, or anything. I mean, she confirms nothing ever. I mean, that's the problem with all this stuff. So there's that. I don't doubt that he was. Matter of fact,
Just so y'all know, look, I'm not the trust me bro kind of person, and that's exactly why we're watching this right here. Is I love to point out that even though they accuse us of doing that, they're more trust me bro than anything. But while we're on this whole topic right here, I can't say where it came from. And you know what? If I was y'all, I mean, y'all don't have to believe me, but I can tell you I have it on very good authority that we will be hearing more about Fort Huachuca and the ones that were alleged to be there. I said it a long time ago. I believe there is more than just Mitch Snow's testimony that he saw them there. Y'all just keep your eyes on that, and if by some chance some hard proof pops up, you know, sometime in the near future, just think of me. This where you heard it was coming first.
in fact, I'm quite sure he was down at Fort Huachuca. That doesn't mean anything. So for those of you who don't know, Candace Owens shared this, I don't know, as proof that Mitch Snow was there. And again, I don't doubt that Mitch Snow was there. And then she gives you this trash right here and says, oh, this is proof that the entire thing happened. I don't care if Mitch was at Fort Huachuca. All right. The reason he got detained is because, well, There's a lot of weird stuff going on with him. So anyways, I just, I'm blown away at the cognitive dissonance of.
Yeah, Brett. I mean, he always sniping at people, and there's some other creators out there that I've noticed doing that a lot lately. But yeah, to me, I mean, like he just, like you said, he's not very well informed. I mean, he just agrees. The problem is he just agrees with the wrong people. Like, well, Gary and Lisa.
The Candace crowd. They demand so much proof from all the accused.
Yeah, Brett. I mean, like I said, I ain't big on the whole trust me bro thing, but just remember me when we all get some confirmation of that. I promise you it's coming.
But they demand zero proof from
I have it on very good authority.
the accuser. And that is not how this works. That's not how a normal society works. And it's quite insane in my opinion. That's like a couple of minutes worth of activity between the time they encountered this individual to the time the police were called at 11:17. So this debunks the entire thing. He didn't go in there at 7:37. So understand, folks, the claim from Mitch Snow is that he arrived at 7:37. 7:37, and he saw Brian Harpole walking out around like 7:40, 7:45, something like that. But according.
All right, guys, we've seen the whole Mitch Snow and all that good stuff. Well, let's get back to the jet. Let's get back to where we started from originally.
To this, according to the the document that Candace submitted to us as. Thank you, Patrick. We appreciate you, buddy. Nope. You guys got anything to add before I play some more of this?
Nope.
If you guys aren't already, make sure you guys go follow the amazing, the great, not only Lisa knows, but Rage Bronson as well. He's got a great YouTube channel, puts out a lot of great content. A good friend of the channel.
Gary's not helping his credibility when he says shit like that.
And just a true speaker in general. So
hold on. Lisa, what are the chances?
What's that?
What are the chances, Lisa, we can get you to change your name to the Investigative Broad?
I should
What are the
totally do
chances?
that.
Sorry about that, Brett.
The unintelligent investigative broad. Oh, my Lanta.
Anyway, it's just an itinerary. But this is Jessica Reed Krause. I didn't know who that was. I never heard of this woman in my life. Candace devoted a whole show to an imagined tarmac hug. Imagined? Andrew's free to decline it. He's free to deny it. Andrew, if it's not true, I encourage you to do that. We'll see how that goes. I obtained a copy of the flight manifest from September. No, you didn't. No, you.
Mary Janer, I'm guessing that they will. They'll probably just shut the hell up and act like it never happened, and probably never see or hear from them again. I don't see them showing their faces again, and it's coming.
You didn't, lady. You didn't. I've seen manifest. I have manifest. That's not a manifest. That's an itinerary. Those are two different things. An itinerary is a plan. If you go to Expedia or Travelocity or Southwest or Delta, and you order.
Oh, she just realized what he just said, and now she's going, oh, no, I never said it was a manifest. I said it was an itinerary. She wasn't even listening to what he was saying, obviously, because he didn't say she said it was a manifest.
For April, you're going to get an itinerary.
This came directly from them.
An itinerary. The manifest is filed.
Is he saying that I said it was a manifest?
Who
I
was
never said
actually
that.
on the plane?
No.
You don't have that, lady. I'll prove it in just a second.
That.
Candace says, yada, yada, yada. What actually happened? Yada, yada, yada. It's interesting that it's a lackey saying all this. It's not Andrew Colvett, but that's neither here nor there. Not to mention, tail number and type of plane Andrew and his wife were on actually match none of the planes.
In other words, a hack.
These Candace gives her audience. Well, we'll look at that as well. But this is the document that she purports is the manifest, the lock solid, guaranteed proof that Andrew actually was on this flight. The only problem with that is, look right here at the top word, itinerary.
No one said manifest. In my tweet, he showed I said
hold on. Lisa, Jessica.
But I got to ask real quickly.
Oh, she did?
Slow your roll, dumbass.
Oh,
Yeah.
Who is this woman?
She does say manifest in the tweet.
Okay, well,
Jessica
Jessica said that. I did not say that.
What?
Nobody said you said that.
What needs to be inquired about from Paradise Jets is if they can actually put out an actual manifest. I mean, not.
They can't, because guess what? They don't operate that tail number. Ask all you want.
Hold on. Not that that's going to absolve us of issues whatsoever. They're just going to pick that apart.
They're still not going to be happy with that. But yeah, that would definitely help.
In this case. Here's Jessica Reed Krause. She has her own Wikipedia page. She must be really important. She's a writer, Instagram influencer, former mommy blogger who writes the newsletter House Inhabitant. House Inhabitant. She grew her Instagram account as a home improvement and lifestyle influencer. Okay, I see what you're doing here. I see where we're going. I see what we're doing here. Her husband Mike got a construction job, and she thought, I've got.
I mean, they've all but proved it now. Maybe not 100%, but 99.99999.
Well, I can show a couple of things on camera that'll really get people tuned in. And so she's basically sponging off of her husband's career by gallivanting around the camera. That's how she got noticed. Then she started getting into controversial cases, and she realized her popularity was taking off, so she leaned into it. This is the Britney Spears case. She went to the Ghislaine Maxwell case. She went to the Harvey Weinstein case.
Kind of like Baron Coleman did. He started riding the coattails of Candace Owens, saw that he was getting popular, saw that he was growing an audience, so he leaned into it, and he leaned into it hard.
And things really started picking up for her. Then she went.
Excuse me. Now, Mr. Barron doesn't need me taking up for him, but what put him on the map was the Google trend searches. You know, we were covering those a while back. That's what put Barron on the map, and that had absolutely nothing to do with Candace. So, you know, I understand why he said it, but it just makes him look that much worse.
Got involved with the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp case. Her political views is what's interesting to me here. She previously considered herself a super liberal, but then she reinvented herself. She completely reinvented herself and became a big Donald Trump supporter, even going to Mar-a-Lago for a Super Bowl party. Well, that's really interesting. She's from San Clemente, California. She's married to a man named Mike. Mike got her start because he does houses. Okay. This is interesting to me because I see this picture and I immediately said, I recognize that logo. Now, this is the girl who got the manifest. This is the girl who posted the alleged manifest that we're going to tear apart in just a second. It's not real. I'll spoil the ending. The manifest is not real.
Yeah, that's right, Dan Lapp.
The itinerary is not real. We can prove it. I will in a moment. Allegedly, in my opinion. But look at this picture. I'll make it bigger for those of you with bad eyes. What is that logo in the background? That's the Turning Point USA logo.
Oh, my God.
Not only is she in big with the MAGA movement, she was actually a speaker at the 2024 Young Women's Leadership Summit. That's a TPUSA event. She's a hack. She's a hack.
She's a hack.
She's one of them. Andrew. God, this is amateur hour, Andrew. I deserve better psyops, Andrew. My audience deserves better psyops. This is beneath you. You've insulted this high IQ outfit, Andrew. You've insulted this high IQ outfit. We cultivate intelligence. We cultivate logic. And you hit me with some hack speaker at your event? And you're just going to leak a manifest? Well, lady, let me tell you something. He obviously.
Oh, my God. I want you guys to look at this. Look at this right here. Look at this. Oh, look at this person right. What is that behind her? What is that behind her? She is a hack.
She's a.
That's not even a real picture. It's really not. Y'all check this out. I don't know if y'all can tell, but that is a computer generated image. That is not even a real picture. Freaking dumbass.
Hack. Because she's got Turning Point behind her. Then she freaking destroyed all of her relationships there because she's a selfish, despicable person. And then she's decided to go on a smear campaign the moment that Charlie Kirk was killed. That's what's going on. Oh, and by the way, the last time I checked, if we want to talk about moving 180 degrees from where you were, I guarantee you can go back and you can find that Baron Coleman was all about MAGA. All about MAGA. Go look at some of the people that, look, he has been a Groyper defendant.
He was all about MAGA, but at least in his mind, MAGA got off course. He's the same as he always was, or, you know, I guess I can't speak for him, but that's kind of the way a lot of people are feeling with certain things that are going on lately. So, yeah, it's not a matter of him changing his position.
Multiple times. Go look at the people that he defended. They were all Groypers.
Hey, everybody has the right to an attorney.
His name, Ian McInnes, and there was a couple other folks that he's part of the Nick Fuentes orbit, if you guys don't know that. That's who he was defending during like the January 6th era. So, you know, take that for what it is.
Or take that for what it's worth, which is shit.
Oh, wrong one.
Thinks you're not very smart. He obviously thinks you're not very smart. Let me pull the manifest back up.
I like that manifest.
I want to go through a few things on here.
These
are things that interested me about this manifest.
Manifest with air quotes. Come on, Gary.
Well, for one, let me pull it back up. There we go. Well, for one, this is a manifest from.
I do want to point out there is no one that is, and this is why Baron Coleman is much more dangerous than Candace Owens. Look, he's compelling. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, you heard that. Gary's saying that he tempted to believe what Mr. Barron's showing there and saying.
Believable. But he
knows he believes it, but you know what? He can't admit it. Don't want them $7,000 checks to stop rolling in.
worst kind of liar because he's a believable liar. He's good at presenting these things. He's a former lawyer. He knows what to do and what not to do, all of those things. And this is why, really, well, I'll leave it at that. He's a danger, but he is lying through. We've already proven he lied about me. He's lying about Lisa. He's putting words in people's mouth, and right now he's calling us a manifest. He's a manifest. But what I was going to say was there is no one that you will hear repeated word for word more by the candy cult than Baron Coleman. Word for word. They will take everything he said here and they will repeat it time and time again all over X and everywhere else. Because his messaging is effective. I mean, understand your enemies.
Yeah, I mean, anytime your messaging, includes stuff like facts, yeah, a lot of times it's effective. It's just part of it, buddy.
And he's good at what he does, but he's a con artist through and through.
Paradise Charters or Paradise Jets. Now, that might not mean much to you, but if you really dig into how airlines work, this is a big tell.
Big tell.
Paradise Jets does not operate Regency airline planes. This plane right here is a Regency airline plane. You'll also notice the tail numbers blacked out. Crudely edited, I might add.
The tail number is listed. Is he blind?
Never, ever again.
Stupid people just should sometimes wait and at least let the person, get the thought out.
A passenger manifest or itinerary, from Paradise Jets for a jet operated by Regency Airlines. That's not me saying that. That's the law. And I
already addressed that earlier today. What a dumbass.
The first I got to look at. You got him so flustered, he can't even keep his shit straight in his video.
I just need to mute myself because I'm going to.
Something I noticed today is we were trying to pull up documentation on who owned these Part 135 charters. There's a database, a government database that will tell you every charter plane has what's called a Part 135 certificate. You can go on the line, you can go online and you can pull up the Part 135 certificate holders. It's critical because in order to operate a charter aircraft, you have to have the Part 135 certificate. And the dadgum database was down today. Wouldn't you know?
Don't you know Gary and Lisa's both like, what is he talking about? What the hell? Why didn't we find out about this? Why did nobody tell us about this? These 135 thingies.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
wouldn't you know?
Lucky for me, we don't.
It's just like when, look, where Barron got his, I don't know, where people started paying attention to him, he started pulling up Google Trends data.
Oh, here we go.
And when I pointed out the fact that the Google Trends data is just utter horseshit and that it's not replicatable, you can't repeat it.
Bullshit, Gary.
And then he started doing it on his, so he pulled up all these things. He showed it. I pulled up those exact things that he put out on his podcast, the exact query, the exact time frame, and the exact location. And I got it different every single time. And I actually, I still have some screenshots. The exact same query, different times, you get completely different data because Google Trends will tell you it is not a historical record. It is not. We can pull that up and talk about it more. But when he was called out on that in the show and he tried to pull up the same data, it was all different. And he's like, oh, wouldn't you know? Wouldn't you know? Oh, they're changing it on us. They're changing it on us. All right. So now your database is compromised, right? The thing that you're saying, there's a reason that nobody is using this as an investigatory tool. No one uses Google Trends. No serious person uses Google Trends because they know this basic concept.
Is that so, Gary? Well, I'm not going to pull it up and prove it right now, but actually, I would have you know that the law enforcement just used it in the Nancy Guthrie case. Yep, they were looking on the Google Trends and was looking at different folks that had been searching for. So yeah, law enforcement uses it. And actually what it was designed for and who uses it more than anything, it's these big corporations that are very serious actually. So they can, it helps them out with their advertising. So yeah, Gary, you're dumb or full of shit or both.
But that's what he's using. Not only is he using it as an investigatory tool to even find indications, he's using this as evidence to point to murder, conspiracy, and everything else. Nothing that would ever be presented in court. It'd be thrown out and laughed at. And he knows it, but he doesn't care. But I want you to look at his concept here. He basically alludes to the fact that the CIA or somebody is changing the data on him, changing the data. So that is compromised. That source is compromised. But he still.
No, dude, it's Mossad. Don't you know? Shit. It's the Jews.
Uses it to this day. So you have a tool that you admit is compromised. But you still use it. It's like saying, hey, you know what? My phone is bugged, but I'm going to continue to talk on it. That's what you're saying. Because if they can change it post-event.
Appreciate you, Brett. Appreciate you.
You better believe they can change it prior to. What do you think? The CIA is watching Baron Coleman like, oh, he's onto us again. Like, we got to change that data. It's ridiculous. Why wouldn't they change it ahead of time and point him in the direction that they want, or some other entity, other state sponsored or whatever else, Google itself, who hates America? It's the most ridiculous claim ever. And by the way, I've talked about this before. There is no intelligence agency. I don't care if it's the Israelis. I don't care if it's Kuwait. I don't care if it's Uganda. All right. They're not using Google to look up stuff. Look, there are classified systems that have much. I have done target packets. And yes, when you were doing a target packet and you were doing surveillance on a target, all right, you absolutely use open source. It's a powerful tool. You don't use Google.
I wonder what he was targeting. Maybe like a horse's ass or something, pin the tail on a donkey.
All right, they're classified systems and extremely, extremely good algorithms that will show you everything. You guys know that the information that you get from Google is what Google wants you to see. It is not nowhere near a complete picture. This is not a system that any sort of state-sponsored element or anyone involved in intelligence or even in the
Yeah, mermaid, I don't care that much for it. I mean, now I don't mind a little small diamond, little stud, but yeah, that ring in there, no, that's for livestock.
in the if somebody was doing this from like the George Soros types, all right, think tanks and things like that, they got their own systems they can utilize. Oh, and by the way, they use VPNs. If they were going to use this, like the idea that somebody would use Google to look up, oh, you know what, we're going to assassinate Charlie Kirk on September 10th. It is now August. Let me look up all the relevant stuff. So this extremely sophisticated conspiracy, apparently being perpetrated by French, Israel, and the United States, the most sophisticated militaries in the world, and they're going to use Google. Get out of here! It's so dumb. Such a dumb.
I challenged Aaron on that early on. Do you know what his excuse was? Well, they could have just gotten lazy. They just got lazy. Yeah.
No, we wouldn't use that. Nobody would use that because it's not a complete picture. It is not a complete picture. It's what Google wants you to see. That's why if you go to DuckDuckGo or you go to Brave or some of these other browsers, you get a lot more, you get completely different information than what you get from Google. So it's just ridiculous.
So I just want to let you guys know that I added to my name on all my socials in parentheses, investigate abroad. And
Let's go.
I changed my tagline to "This broad knows."
I love it.
I could think of some other nicknames that'd probably be more fitting.
I love it.
Don't wait until the last moment around here. This is something we've been working on. So let me show you a couple of things. One, this is what the database showed before today. Andrew, I've got a Daisy. You've got Gary. Now, I would submit that you are out of your league.
Oh, yeah.
This is the airplane right here. This is the Title 14 CFR Part 135 operators and aircraft. This is in green, the alleged aircraft that Andrew flew on. You'll notice it says right here, the Part 135 certificate holder name is Regency Air, LLC. Meaning, the only person who can legally operate this aircraft is Regency Air. If you want to reserve this aircraft, you have to call Regency Air, or you have to call a broker.
Not Paradise Jets.
But if you call a broker, your itinerary is going to show the broker, or it's going to show Regency Air. It's not going to show Paradise Jets. They don't have anything to do with it. It's a totally different organization. So that's that. Well, is it possible? Maybe they have more than one charter, Part 135 charter? Well, let's look, because I have Paradise Jets 135 charter. They act like this is the first investigation we've ever done. They're wrong. Here are the Paradise Jets charters. They only have charters on 3 planes. This is the N-102 Delta Zulu plane right here in the middle. This is the plane Charlie Kirk took that morning and came, and the flight allegedly flew empty back to Scottsdale and allegedly picked up Erica Kirk and flew back to Salt Lake City. Or excuse me, flew back to Provo. That's that middle plane of the 3 yellow planes, N-102 Delta Zulu. This is N-582 Mike, N-79 Sierra Charlie. Those are the only 3 planes you could ever get an itinerary for from Paradise Jets, in my opinion. I think legally I'm right on that.
I think so.
But we weren't sufficient. That wasn't sufficient. That wasn't sufficient because we asked, why would Paradise Jets, who is not a broker, I confirm they're not a broker, why would they list a flight operated by a completely different certificate holder under their own letterhead without any disclosures? They wouldn't. They wouldn't. You know how I know that? Daisy called them, both Paradise Jets and Regency Air. She ran this scenario by them, and they both agreed this can't happen. Neither one of them are broke.
I don't believe this is true at all. I think this is made up bullshit, and I have good reason to believe. Elisa was alluding to the fact.
Oh, he's got good reason to believe. Show us proof of that there, Gary.
That we're going to hear more on this.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to be proven a liar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're gonna trust your trust me bro over Barron's trust me bro. Actually, Barron's isn't a trust me bro. I mean, he's pretty much showing us there right now, so. Oh, but we're going to hear from this super secret whistleblower that Lisa knows. This person's going to further confirm the validity of this document.
For sure. But don't buy the bullshit, folks. Don't buy it.
We're not, trust me.
And they only produce itineraries for their own jets. They're out of their league. They're out of their league. I don't know who they think we are. But if you go back I want to go back and show you something. This is amazing. The bottom picture right here is the picture from the itinerary. This is the picture from the itinerary here. You'll notice if you zoom in, if you look real closely
Christian.
on the tail at the bottom, there's no tail number on it. See on the top up here, there's a tail number, this N937RA. They're supposedly showing you the jet that they're going to be flying on, but they blacked out the tail number because it's not the same jet. This is the picture they blacked it out from. This is the picture they photoshopped. This top picture. We were able to track that picture down. So they already edited the document, but I'm telling you right now, you're not going to get a Regency Air flight on a Paradise Jet letterhead. You're just not going to. It's just not possible. In my opinion, I will be happy to review an actual manifest, but you're not going to get that. And let me say this here.
It's not as flattering as some of the other ones that get that people's chosen for.
Man to man, Andrew, this is unnecessary. This is unnecessary. You don't have to go to get Gary. A lot of people have my number. I don't want to give it out over the year, but a lot of people have it. You can get it from Candace. You can get it from a lot of people. Call her and ask.
That's right. Come to me. Give me the information, Andrew. That's what I want. How about F you, Baron? He's not going to acquiesce to you. I hope he doesn't. My God, please, Andrew, don't listen to this clown. You don't have to give me the information. Give this to anybody else. Anybody else. By the way, Andrew didn't give me this information, just to be clear. But what these people continue to do is they continue to attempt to extort, to accuse people of murder that they have zero evidence of. And
I've not heard anybody accuse anybody of anything. I mean, we got questions.
And extort information so they can have another show and another show and another show. And no matter what information you give them, they're not going to present it honestly. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. They got more shows. They got the grift cannot stop.
For my number, just call me. You don't have to try to do this debunking through Gary's broads. Just call me.
Jeez.
I will make the correction. My goal is to be correct, not to nail you to the wall, not to prove you did anything. My goal is to be correct, Gary. I want to be accurate. I have this open standing agreement with anyone who has evidence that I've been wrong.
That one's deep, Mermaid. But yes, definitely. You got to, I mean, yeah, you Christian should and most do pray even harder during the hard times. That's when you really need it the most. And when you pray if you ask for things, I mean, you're not always going to get what you ask for, but you'll get an answer one way or the other. But yeah, hard times, you pray harder.
My opinion needs to be changed. Give me the evidence and I'll change my opinion. I'll make a correction. That goes for everything I've said. Everything. If you were on that flight, let me know. Call me. You can find me. I'm not hard to track down, despite what some people say. It's unnecessary doing this song and dance. Just get on the record. Just get on the record. Now, we have to ask the question, who owns Paradise Jets? Would they have a motivation in creating something fake, or was this created fake at TPUSA? Did some aspiring Twittress go fake this thing up on Photoshop? So I looked it up, and I found an article who identifies the owner of Paradise Jets, and I looked her up. She seems perfectly nice. Her name is Cynthia Thomas. Here's her Instagram page. And if you open this up, this is an article here. You can go read it yourself. But it talks about owning Paradise Jets. Welcome to Paradise. Cynthia Thomas is elevating private aviation. They are expanding in Scottsdale. I think they're now up to 3 planes. This whole thing here is about her owning Paradise Jets. So I just had to know, who is this woman? Like, she seems nice. Would she be in on it? Like, is she biased in any way? I know Jamie Thomas allegedly is one of the pilots who would ferry Charlie around the country. But I mean, if you're just a pilot, are you really biased? You just have a job, right? They hire you and they give you $25,000 to take them to Dallas and back, and so you do it. I mean, are you really invested in any way? Well, let's go back and find out.
He's invested because he's the actual CEO. Jamie
Because
Thomas.
If we scroll back,
all right,
this is
correct the record right here.
Cynthia, the owner of Paradise Jets, and that's Jamie, the pilot for Paradise Jets, having a blast.
He's completely incorrect. All right, let me just show you what's going on here. All right, Paradise Jets is a Mesa, Arizona-based private aviation company founded and led by the husband and wife team, Jamie Thomas, CEO and founder, and Cynthia Thomas, president, COO, established around 2016. Jamie Thomas is not just some pilot that is not invested in the company. He's the CEO. Like, you talk about getting basic facts wrong. Here we go. Back to the show.
Celebrating the inauguration with TPUSA. They look like they're having a blast. To their credit, that looks like.
If that was a legitimate fact, I'm just floored. That is the first fact he showed, first receipt he showed since I've been watching.
Like a lot of fun. I would be really tempted to support an organization that let me have that much fun at the inauguration and paid me that much money. The temptation would be there, guys. I'm just telling you. They both look amazing. They're having so much fun. This looks great. They're having a great time. Good for them. Good for them. This is them all geared up for the pre-inaugural ball by TPUSA. They look like $1 million. I mean, they're a good-looking couple. They look rich, powerful. This is great. I mean, this is great stuff. I would post this on Instagram if this was my life. I don't know what that was, but they are just involved in the TPUSA scene. This is who they are. They get involved in the TPUSA scene. So good for them. Good for them.
Well, TPUSA is clearly one of their large clients. I would like, what do we point out here? Again, casting aspersions, suspicions on a company.
What we're pointing out is that if push came to shove, this Paradise Jets would have reason to possibly stretch the truth, maybe create a document for Turning Point USA so they don't lose their big client and don't end up having to lose on the parties and, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I could see them possibly creating a document or allegedly or, stretching the truth a little bit for their good old buddy, old pals at Turning Point, allegedly.
With only because of association.
But that's who owns it. So I put all this together and I think this is weird, right? This is a little weird. We've got Paradise Jets owned by a TPUSA groupie that has an itinerary for a Regency air flight. It's weird. The Regency air flight lists Andrew Colvett on it, but it's not the manifest. It's just the itinerary. But it lists Andrew and his wife, Caitlin. This is a little weird because I remember Candace saying that he was like pacing the cabin or all alone on this giant airplane. This is a pretty small jet. This is a Hawker Beechcraft. This is not a Beechcraft Hawker 400 XP. It's not a huge plane, And if he's there with his wife and he didn't leave until this time, nearly 3 hours after Charlie Kirk was taken down, he would have no reason to wonder what was going on. He told the New York Times he knew 35 to 45 minutes or 40 to 50 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes, whatever it was, after the Big Bang that Charlie was packed.
I'm not sure if you're meaning Gary or if you're meaning Barron, but honestly, now that you mention it, I don't know that I've ever heard either one of them mention him. That's strange. He's legit. John is really, really smart, and he's really on to something there.
So he wouldn't really have any problem there. I mean, and we just got a little problem on our hands here. I will say this operator certificate number is the Regency Air operator certificate. Again, that would not be.
Yeah, no, I haven't. No, because when he talks shit about the microphone theory, he's not going to bring up somebody like John that is extremely intelligent and has laid out a really good case for it. He's just going to say it's dumb and move on.
Proper for Paradise Jets to be producing that. It's a little interesting too, because if you look at the scheduled Santa Barbara departure time, it says 2:30.
He does, and he talks about how he's a Green Beret and he's so smart when it comes to shape explosives. We used to blow doors with him all the time, and I can tell you that it's not possible.
And they don't arrive in Provo until almost 5 o'clock. It's an hour and a half. It says right here, flight time, an hour and a half, time zone change 1. So that it's really 2.5 hours, but you take the time zone out, that's 1.5 hours. So is that what the FAA had as the flight times? Or did they butcher that too, trying to be too cute by half and not just getting the manifest and releasing that, but trying to release what appears, at least on its face, to be a fake itinerary? But let's look real quickly. I'll pull this up and we can all look together. Let me make it the big version here since we're just looking at one.
Oh, it's fake. It's fake. It's fake AF.
I'll have to scroll down to it if I'm going to make it big. That's July. There's September. Here we go. September 8, September 8. Let me make it next small. I know how to read those. All right, here we go. This is the, This is the flight radar version of this. Santa Barbara to Provo was originally scheduled to take off at 1:30 local time, not 2:30 local time.
Some on a different flight.
And it was scheduled to land at 4:47. Well, if you look at this itinerary here, that says 2:30 local time, which makes sense, I guess, in the sense that he didn't leave until closer to 2:30. But the reality is, if you go back here, the flight plan was filed for 1:30. I don't know why the itinerary would show something different than the flight plan. Is it evidence that it's fake? Yeah, I think it is. I mean, I think it is additional evidence it's fake. There's actually one more piece of evidence that this might not be real. It was created recently. You have to really look down and trust me here. But if you pull this up on Twitter, you can see it. This
here we go. Here's the 2026 date.
Copyright, this Google Map copyright was from 2026. 2026 is this Google Map copyright.
Oh, here we go.
This flight was in 2025. And if you go back and look at old Google Map data from September 25. The copyright's 2025, not 2026. And so that even is a little piece of evidence. But again, this right here, let me pull the certificate data back up for just a second. Where's the run? Here it is. I think I think they might have had a typo in there. Anyway, this is a disaster for them. This is just an absolute disaster. Rather than just picking up the phone and calling Candace and saying, why are you telling people we had a tarmac hug? I never
It
told
will
you
be
that.
proven wrong.
Rather than just coming out publicly and saying, why are you telling people we had a tarmac?
And you know, he has never come out and disputed that fact. According to Candace, he said there was a tarmac hug, and that story has been told how many times now to date? And that I know of, he's never, ever contradicted it. He's never come out and said that never happened. So to me, that's pretty good proof that it did happen.
Tarmac hug. I never told you that. And then seeing how Candace responds to that. I mean, like if someone accused me of saying something I didn't say, am I going to go and find some gal who's a guest with Gary or some other gal who was a speaker at one of my events 2 years ago? And is that how I'm going to get the information out?
If I'm Candace Owens and I want to prosecute this case, am I going to do it myself, or am I going to have my paid simp, my coattail? I retract that. I don't know if he's paid or not, but he's definitely a simp. Why
Show us, Gary.
is Candace doing this?
And what in particular are you talking about? Because Candace doesn't know her airplanes, for one, just like she doesn't know the military and, you know, a few other things. But she's always pretty honest about that.
She's having Baron Coleman do it. It's completely disinterested.
No, she's not having Baron Coleman do it.
Said party do this for her. Why is that? So if she can have surrogates release information or discuss information.
This guy's a genius for real.
Or prosecute information. Why can't other people? And by the way, this stuff is the things that we've been pushing back on. We're not pushing back on the behest of TPUSA. We're pushing back on against lies. That's where this has all started. I don't care if I ever talked to TPUSA. I don't care if I had never talked to TPUSA or Andrew Colvett or anything else. I'd be doing the exact same thing. Never talked to anybody at TPUSA until December. So whenever that meeting was with Candace Owens. So there's that. Bronson, does he go on to give us any other additional information there that's worth listening to?
No, none of it's worth listening to. If he was going to debunk Lisa, it should only take a matter of minutes, but he can't. So he went on this long.
That was a subtle dig. If he was going to debunk Lisa, it should only take minutes,
drawn out
seconds,
jumping from this topic to this topic to this, and it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing.
It's absolutely nothing. Yep. His super brain has analyzed all of it and has come to the conclusion that it is nothing.
But the tards over there will be like, ooh, a rabbit hole. Ooh, nothing.
Yeah. Well, look, I think one of the things that hopefully we agree on is the fact that I think TPUSA and Andrew Colvett himself have to give a full-throated response to all of these things. Like, I don't think if you're going to provide information, you can't afford to do it half-assed. I think he definitely needs a manifest, whatever else. I do think that he needs to address these claims and prove, once again, that Baron.
Yeah, me too, for sure. He definitely needs to address these claims.
Coleman and Candace Owens are not honest brokers of information. They make stuff up. They claim to be experts in areas that they have none. No expertise whatsoever. And I think that's
sound like somebody else I know.
That's what needs to be done. What do you think, Lisa? The investigative broad?
I don't know.
Look at that pillow propped up behind her in the background. Ain't that just sweet?
I don't even know where to begin because I don't want to say things out of frustration that I.
Bitch, you wasn't even listening. Don't even. You have no idea what he's even talking about right now.
Shouldn't. But
let it rip.
Yeah, right. Like they all get to, right? I'm trying to hold myself to a higher standard, but
no, you just weren't listening. You don't know what the hell he was even saying. You're lost.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he can sit there and say that, this has been edited and like redacted and whatever. Yes, obviously there were certain portions that were redacted. That's very clear. Obviously, like personal private information was redacted from this document. But the things that he's identifying is just absolutely absurd. And he doesn't. Yes, we already talked about the whole Regency Air now having the registration for the plane. This event happened 6 months ago. We have no idea what happened for the lease for this plane. The plane could have been sold from one party to another. All that to say, he never once addresses that the information that he's looking up on those charts is per today. per today's date, it says that. We have no idea what those charts would have said on September 10th of 2025.
Yeah, actually, we do now. Now we know that it has not changed hands since 2019. So guess what? That document more than likely was manufactured, allegedly.
As
Well, the
far
other
as
thing I want to point out,
explaining
it's
changing hands.
it was like when you rent a car, they'll have a picture of the
God, here we go. He's going to use the rent-a-car to. Oh God.
car that you're renting. It's like, okay, well, you're getting a Chevy Blazer or a Chevy Blazer. I guess we're gonna go back in time. I guess they still make. Oh, they used to. You know, a Chevy SUV or whatever
Oh,
else.
God.
Doesn't mean that's the exact one that you're getting. If they have multiple aircraft, it's like, hey, this is the type of aircraft that you're getting. This is the same cabin layout. You know, like there's 1,000 explanations for all these.
1,000. Just give me one or two good ones, Gary. Just one or two good ones is all I'm asking for. You ain't got to give me 1,000. One or two good ones.
Highlighted discrepancy. But
I think it's very clear that at some point in time, the aircraft, changed hands or whatever.
Oh, yeah, it's clear. Yeah. It definitely changed hands. That's her not so educated opinion. Wrong.
could be.
That, at some point that probably happened. But again, he doesn't even give
Oh, that probably happened. At some point, that probably happened. Trust me, bro. We're just speculating.
that as like an option.
No.
That could be what, again, and he's not even bringing it to people's attention of this event happened on September 10th, and we're looking at these charts today.
Everybody knows when it happened.
And there are absolutely variables here that could have changed in a literal half a year period, y'all. Half a year has gone by, and we're not going to take into any consideration that dynamics have very much changed in half a year. Are you freaking kidding me?
Hold on.
Are you freaking kidding me?
I want to address some insanity. Hey, Gary, Barron disagrees. I've heard this mentioned 1,000 times, but he disagrees with me, but he never says anything bad about you. This is silly. Are you freaking insane? Are you freaking insane?
Listen to this guy crash out over this damn comment, which in my opinion wasn't really all that insulting.
He sat there and lied about me, trying to damage my credibility and creating a complete false narrative.
Trying to damage his credibility.
You're insane, Jamie. I bet you're the same ones.
Dude, you have done more damage to your credibility than 1,000 Baron Coleman's could do to you in a lifetime.
Let's go around and say, you know what? Candace actually never accused TPUSA of Erica or anything. Like, you're an idiot, Jamie. I'm sorry. You're an idiot.
And this is why his following is way down. This is why his numbers have not been growing. It's exactly why. Prime example. Case in point.
You say that, you're a moron.
No, Gary, you're the moron.
My God. I didn't know there were so many retarded people in America. I really didn't. Like this.
I didn't either until I turned on this show and look, we got 3 of y'all all together right there in one show. Like, what the hell? What are the chances?
This entire last 6 months has been so eye-opening to me to see how many Americans are so stupid, so gullible, lacking.
There we go. There goes his chat. There goes his following.
Basic logic, basic critical thinking skills. Like, our country is screwed. Really is. We got people like Jamie C over here running around saying absolute nonsense.
Yeah, we're cooked.
Freaking idiot.
Yeah, we're done. I mean, the only positive that has come out of this whole thing is that we've been able to see people's true colors, especially certain people that we've given platforms to that we should have never platformed, right? And I think that this is a wake-up call to people to be like, hey, in the future, we need to vet some of these people much better before we just allow them into the conservative movement, right?
We're going to vet these people and decide whether they can be a conservative or not. That doesn't sound very communistic at all.
But yeah, wow, I need a drink. I need a drink
The
after
problem with that is, Lisa, is we need their votes.
yeah, we
Got to
do.
have their votes to win the elections. It's a tough spot.
Because it's
not
super
good.
tight, yeah.
And we're back to the elections.
Yeah, look,
Never mind, Charlie. They got to win that election. That's what Charlie would want.
they're doing irreparable harm to our country. And it's not even about the election at this point. It's about setting up future generations that are completely susceptible and vulnerable to psychological operations like this. Whoever's behind all this stuff, and I don't even care if you didn't include foreign adversaries. What they've told is every grifter out there on the internet. You can just come up with lies, create narratives out of whole cloth, reinforce it with anonymous sources, and millions of Americans will believe you. And it's a way to make a living. That's what's going on with that, for sure. Let's hit
Probably not Mary Jane, or she does not know much of anything at all.
a couple of these super chats, and I'm sure some other things will come up. I saw anytime Erica speaks.
Guys, I hate to be a quitter, but it's getting late. We've been going an hour and a half, and I am worn out. And I'm sure there's probably a few of y'all that are hanging with me in the chat that probably are ready to do some relaxing too. So I think I'm gonna have to cut it here, as bad as I hate to. I'm having a good time. Everybody's in there in the chat having a good time. So, but I'm gonna have to. I gotta go relax. Hey, I appreciate everybody turning out. I don't know. We may try to finish this up tomorrow, but I've got that Liz Wheeler piece that is really good that I thought about doing. So I don't know. It's up in the air. I'm not sure exactly what I'll be doing tomorrow night. So it'll be a surprise. Y'all just be looking for me, and I'll just surprise y'all. Yes, I'm going to go through my spiel again. Please, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, notification bell. Please, everybody, hit the like button, share. And do, yeah, lots of sharing. Get it out there. Eventually YouTube will take over and help me get it out there in front of people. But for right now, y'all sharing is the best way, that and the likes. And again, I'll just remind y'all, in the description of this video and in some others, but in the description of this video, there are my 3 links. One of them's PayPal, got one for Cash App, one for Venmo. If anybody feels led to help support me in the meantime until I get monetized, I would greatly appreciate it. Every little bit helps, and I so appreciate the support, monetarily and just showing up and hanging out here. We're slowly creeping up. We're growing, but you know what? We have a good time, and that's all that really matters. So anyway, guys, I'm not going to ramble on forever. Y'all all have a good night. Thank y'all for showing up, and let's plan on meeting back here again tomorrow night if possible. Thanks.